Welcome to the Harpswell Select Board meeting. We're discussing our goals coming ahead and what we've accomplished in the last 3 years.
But before you get into the
Before we start
discussion
that.
of goals, there were a couple items that we put on your agenda today. They were timely items. So one was the pre-construction services agreement with Wright Ryan. And I've been working with Jonathan Burbank on contract review for that contract with Wright Ryan. It's the AIA document. It's quite extensive, and it's taken us time. So this is really just for the pre-construction services. It's basically $15,000 over a period of 7 months before we get to actual construction.
Yeah, let's not spend all the money before we start construction.
And so
I
this
was
is.
noticing there are $200 an hour people in there.
Yeah, yeah, I
yikes.
know. Yeah, you're right. So, we are embarking on this project. We have met for a couple of months now with the construction manager and the architect, and I actually have a proposal on your Thursday night agenda for the board to consider formally establishing a building committee for the emergency services building, and, making sure they have a mission statement, that they report periodically to the board. I think that's a way to formalize what we've been doing.
Has
And
Flycatcher done the wetland yet?
that, they have been retained to do it, and I have to call them to see. We're on their list, and it's going to be done within that time frame that it
Okay.
needs to be done, but I
Okay,
can't
good.
tell you
All
as
right.
I sit here if it's
Wait till it
been
stops raining.
completed or not. So I would
Plenty
ask
of
the
wetlands out
board
there right now.
to authorize me to sign this pre-construction services agreement with Wright Ryan.
I move we sign that and get Christie to, I move
what
that-
you meant.
get Christie
I'm
to sign
holding
it,
back what you're sending out. I'll second that set
whatever
out.
that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we circle that mumble. All in favor of the mumble?
Thank you. And we had one more item, and that came via the Recreation Committee, and I can turn it over to
Yeah.
Select Board Member Matt Gilly.
The first thing I want to do is I want to take a second and thank Bob Goudreau. Bob was nice enough to take some of his own equipment in his own time and go up this past weekend and do some initial repairs to the drainage around the snack shack there and put some gravel in. And he did that all on his own expense. So I know I appreciate that, and I'm sure the other people sitting around the horseshoe here do as well, and as well do the residents. So thank you, Bob, for that. Beyond that is that now they're looking to improve that snack shack. It needs some work.
It sure does.
And they're looking for us to authorize up to $4,000. They do have the final cost. It's right about $3,400 for all the materials. They were able to save some money by eliminating a door and a window and just boarding them up instead of replacing them, because they checked with codes, and codes confirmed that they did not need those. They had enough egresses and stuff like that.
All right.
And they were able to change the type of shingles they were using as well to save a little bit of money to get that cost down.
And it's done by volunteers.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it was, and the reason that it's here tonight instead of Thursday night is the repair clinic, folks. There's about 20 volunteers. They've already ordered the material, and are hoping that we're able to reimburse them for it. And then they were gonna do the work on the 23rd, which is the day that we would meet. So that's why they were hoping
Yeah,
for us to
yeah, yeah.
authorize it tonight, because they can get everybody together on Thursday. And if it happened to rain that day, their rain date was gonna be for the 30th.
Okay, so,
I built that building.
Well, now they need to fix it. You should have done better than.
no wonder it's falling apart.
Hey,
Jeez.
I think it was 30 years ago.
So
Hammond Lumber
originally,
donated the materials.
the original trenching around that building, we did it with the town tractor. Richard Carey had put it on his flatbed and dragged it over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I
we did-
remember old Richard.
I had the town chipper over there when we,
The town chipper, I remember that thing
yeah,
too,
yeah,
yeah.
we dragged it over there and had it research, and it broke on the way over, up my truck, and I barely got it there. And Harmon York came over, welded it back
Oh,
together.
good old, there's
yeah.
some old names I haven't heard in a long
Oh,
time,
yeah.
both of
Good
them.
history there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You look up in the rafters of that building, you see a big blood splatter. I destroyed my thumb.
Oh,
Why I
gee.
rember that, I have no
They-
idea.
Well, they might need
skip
another
line.
$100
yeah.
extra dollars
Oh,
now
oh.
to replace that panel on the ceiling.
So yeah, it's up on the rafter.
Well, anyway, why don't you make the motion?
I was gonna say, I make the motion that we approve up to $4,000 for the repairs to the snack shack at Trufant Field.
I will enthusiastically second that.
Yeah. All in favor?
Great, thank you.
Initially, they wanted to tear it down, correct?
Yes, that's
Yes.
right, yeah.
Yep. Now they've decided it is better and cheaper to repair. People are going to continue using
I
it.
think it would be.
Just a post comment about process, I just wanted to state, because voters had approved that recreation fees and revenues, they're all in its own fund called the Special Revenue Fund for Recreation. Any use of the carryover funding requires going through the Recreation Committee and then ultimate approval by the Select Board. This is the process that you have just completed, and it had gone through the Recreation Committee as
It was
well.
unanimous on the Recreation Committee, too. I'll just
Oh, yeah.
add that.
Yeah.
And so that's why this has to go before you.
Yep.
Oh, email Mark. No. I can email that Mark Weaver and let him know that they're all set to move ahead and take care of that, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Now the fun part.
Yep, now for the fun part.
So it has been a while since the board has set out goals and objectives. I think the last time period was kind of the 2023 to 2024 timeframe. And then we really have not gotten back to this kind of activity for a while. So we're asking the board to kind of look at that prior goals and objectives handout. And then there's also been an AI-generated goals page for you to take a look at. I mean, it really is interesting in this day and age of artificial intelligence. If you just
Speaking of
wanna-
artificial intelligence, these guys have computers and smartphones.
So,
I didn't print one out, so.
Oh, here you
I
go.
did read it, but.
so this is just an exercise in, asking artificial intelligence what the goals for the Harpswell Select Board should be, and it kind of printed an interesting
Wow,
list, I thought, and that was just
Character.
created as,
what are you telling me, it's in there? All he needed to do was look?
I'll just give Christie your copies.
Okay.
or you could do the electronic version if you had a laptop, I guess. Actually, yeah,
I can let you borrow my smartphone.
I wouldn't know how to use it. You're wasting your time.
well, I just don't know which, if you'd like to just start with the AI document, it kind of lists 8 areas, and some of them really stand out to me as areas that you might want to think about, moving to the top of your priority list. So I'm just going to read them in order that they were printed. There are 8 of them, but the first one was preserve community character while managing change. And it says Harpswell's identity, working waterfronts, rural feel, natural beauty is a major asset. The select board should guide growth in a way that protects open space, shoreland access, and the town's distinctive sense of place, while still allowing for reasonable development and housing options. The
Yeah.
second one,
Wait,
you want me to just go through?
Hold on. What strikes me is I'm driving through the center of Harpswell Center yesterday, and it occurred to me that all of Harpswell's history is there. It's stuck in a building, the historic park, and really, what makes a good community is that we all have that history internally. And there's so many people from away that we need to bring up to speed on our history and culture. So, yeah, definitely that's a priority.
The second one that's listed is strengthening financial sustainability. Maintain a disciplined, transparent budgeting process that keeps property taxes predictable.
Well, yeah.
That's not always possible,
Yeah,
but
but
it's good to strive for it.
We should strive, yes.
Build reserves, plan for capital improvements, roads, facilities, emergency services, and actively pursue grants to reduce the burden on taxpayers.
We'll do that anyway.
The third one
But we
suggests
got to keep it up.
supporting the working waterfront and local economy. Fishing and marine industries are central to Harpswell. Goals should include protecting waterfront access, supporting local businesses, and encouraging economic activity that aligns with the town's character, not large-scale overdevelopment.
Yep, absolutely.
4 is advance infrastructure and climate resilience. Coastal communities face rising sea levels and storm impacts. Priorities should include road maintenance, culvert upgrades, broadband expansion, which I think we have done, and
Yeah, 'cause there was
resilience planning.
I noticed that in the other one. I said, God.
This is why you have to read
Right.
artificial intelligence, because
Right.
it doesn't always get it right.
Right, because we certainly have, I mean, with Fidium, they go to every place that a telephone would go, which is down something really long, unlike cable that would, had an extension policy. So I think we pretty much, I mean, I think broadband's available to anyone that needs it.
You know,
wants
maybe
it.
the islands don't have it, some of the
Yeah, that
offshore.
Well,
islands, but,
then there's,
you know,
then
that's-
there's
But I mean, you could get
then there's satellite, there's
Yeah,
HughesNet.
right,
Well, there's
right,
always
right.
something.
Yeah, we're not going to have underwater cables.
No, probably
When I
not.
travel, I use my smartphone to give
Yeah.
internet to my,
Number five
same
talked
thing.
about, improving communication and public engagement. Residents expect transparency and a voice in decisions. The select board should expand outreach, clear meeting materials, accessible communication channels, and proactive engagement on major issues to build trust and participation.
Well, how are we feeling about the, I mean, certainly with,
I think in the area of communications, we can talk in more detail about, like, adding on to the number of meetings that we stream and,
Yeah.
you know,
I think we could
Right.
keep expanding, you know, the committees that we stream and
Yeah.
videotape, you know, and it's a lot easier, I think, for people to go back and, like, if they look at the minutes and they see something that interests them, you know, they can then watch the video, and they don't have to watch the whole thing, they can usually jump to that section that.
yeah, at least VOD, or maybe if you're listening in the live stream.
Right,
At least
I can
VOD.
understand not wanting to live stream some of them, you know, but even if we just have it archived in a recording, I think could be helpful.
Like the
And
show.
that might help, because we've heard, not many, but a couple of complaints about minutes not being posted, and, you know, and I remember talking to MMA when I first got elected about whether those videos counted as minutes, and it is kind of a gray area. They said that if you post a video, you don't necessarily need minutes. So that might be a way for us to alleviate some of those concerns with the minutes if we're able to upload a video, you know, maybe a little bit sooner than the minutes get updated. Then at least people could view it maybe a little bit quicker. You know, I don't expect it to by any means be the hour after, you know, but usually the minutes, it's a month or two after, because they have to wait till the next month to approve them, you know, and then they get forwarded and posted. So I think we could post a video in a couple weeks after versus 6 weeks, we'll say.
yeah, that's a good point. I think we're looking for guidance on which committees you'd like to see stream. So right now,
Actually, I'd like,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
so sorry to interrupt, Christy, but Amelia and I have talked about this, and it's a little bit of a different approach, because it's not really seeing which ones that you, and maybe this is the wrong approach, but we have current meetings, current committee meetings that have current staff members there that Amelia can train and do, and so those are easily added and rolled out, so we'd like to start with those.
Yeah.
That will pick up several, and then kind of see where we are with the rest of them after that.
I think that's a good plan. I think maybe after that, we look at the ones that maybe don't have the staff, but are the more attended meetings by the public, and go that route, I would assume.
Of course, there are meetings that are held in the small meeting room, so all of this is not available in there, so
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, it could be with rearranging perhaps of the calendar, because right now, those committees that do get filmed, we make sure that they're in this one, so we're going to work on that.
yeah.
or just of course, it's attached to the wall now, but a camera like that one would be,
Yeah.
would be.
Could,
Oh, no, we have that, so it can come down.
that's what I was gonna.
That's our portable camera. We can definitely take
But then
that.
if there's a meeting going on at this room at the same time, you know.
Well, that's why I say by schedule, and we got to make sure that
Yeah.
it doesn't work out that way.
How much are those cameras? I have no idea.
$500.
So if, this might be a silly question, but I'm gonna ask it, because I'm good at that. Could we buy another $500 camera and just have it in that room? And would that be easier for staff than trying to finagle with schedules, do you think?
Logistically, how would you?
Yeah, logistically, if it doesn't work out that we can move everything in here, we definitely will go down that path.
Because I look at a $500 one-time expense as fairly minimal to give people almost sooner access.
Yeah.
And we have our other big TV that can, if Zoom is particularly needed for that as well. And so, Amelia and I have already talked about this, and we have a plan in going forward, at least a preliminary discussion. And so we'd like to tell you that we'll be rolling that out.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good team of people, you and Amelia, to be working towards, I think that's perfect.
Like tomorrow, we have Marine Resource at 3, and Mary Ann can turn the camera on for that one. She's in the committee.
Did you have some?
Does the
committee
camera
in
keep the
mind?
full out of words down a little bit?
No, I didn't.
We're good on the fisheries committee too. I'll give us, we started bad, but we got better.
Marine Resource Committee
Is fisheries being recorded now?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have the whole time.
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes.
Okay.
Marine Resource, yeah, language is a problem.
So I was going to
Select
say,
board
some
did
committees
sometime,
may
too.
not, that staff is there, some committees that staff is there may not be so anxious to be recorded, and that one comes to mind, but,
Oh.
we are going to work with our current staff members and lay out a plan.
Okay. The next one is implement the comp plan, and I think you have
We're doing that.
you actually have a workshop a week
Coming
from
up, yeah.
today, and I'm gonna send
Maybe
invitations
we should
out.
move that goal to the top, because that's probably gonna be the first one we get completed, and then we'll look good, like we're checking stuff off.
But it talks about how you need to translate the plan into measurable actions, including, what do you want to do in the area of land use, housing, environmental protection, capital planning. And then it's so interesting, it picked up this comment, ensure the plan is a living document, not just a report on the shelf.
Listening to you. Listening to you.
It's not in quotes though, is it?
Pretty damn close.
It is.
But I do, all kidding aside, I think
More of a
there is
pragmatist,
definitely
so.
a lot of momentum to move forward with this implementation phase, so that's good. The next one was support town staff and volunteer boards. Effective governance depends on capable staff and engaged committees. Goals should include staff retention, training, clear coordination with boards like planning, conservation, and marine resources. And I think the town does that area pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
And
do
I
too.
think,
I almost don't feel like we really need that as a goal per se, because we already do it.
Yeah,
Goals are something you're trying to accomplish. We do that.
check that one off.
sometimes you can say continued support of, but anyway, that, maybe you want to work on things that you haven't quite gotten to
Or
or
we
reached
move that
yet.
one to the top and say, look at us go, we got two done.
Or it'll just be our policy.
And
Yeah.
then the last one was enhance public services and quality of life, ensure reliable emergency services, maintain recreational assets, and support initiatives that improve livability for year-round residents, not just seasonal population. So again, these are general, but I'm sure the,
I think it's a good start.
yeah,
And I think we can, like we did with the communication one, maybe just elaborate
yeah,
Yep.
on a
And-
couple of them.
And our bigger things, the new central station, the recycling plant,
Right.
Ocean Street. Those are the three biggies that are heading our way.
and maybe we can put that under advanced infrastructure or capital planning, talk about completing those projects. So you mentioned the new emergency services building, recycling center. Did you mention another?
Ocean Street.
Thank you, Ocean Street, yeah. Okay. I don't know if you want to now just look at the other one to see, if there are some things that you want to carry forward
Oh, from the previous,
from the prior.
Something AI missed.
So the other one was just organized a little bit differently, but some similar subtopics.
Well, we haven't completed the HVAC upgrade yet.
Well,
Will we ever?
Since we opened the windows, the cold weather hit the thermostat, so it moved it up to 78.
we have completed the project. We're not completely satisfied.
Yeah. Did the heat come on in your office this morning?
And then some, since he's been here.
Well, but did the boiler kick in?
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you like that topic, title, infrastructure and long-range planning? And do you want us to
Yeah.
put some of those projects you
Yeah.
mentioned there? But how do you want to leave the HVAC upgrade? I mean, it was completed, but it's had some issues, so I don't know.
We can call it complete.
Okay.
Completed but not finished.
Yeah.
In the recycling center,
That's going to be on the list, yeah.
Yeah. we're trying to get
Maintaining a
moving.
multi-year comprehensive
So,
capital
that's
plan,
you.
improvement
you.
plan. We have worked
done.
on that, and we have a lot of good detail on that. It does say maintain, so I think that's fine.
Has anybody been down to Potts Point? I was there a week ago. There was some movement.
Oh, on the town dock?
Yeah.
We received an email stating that they would be, they have a whole schedule laid out.
They-
Was
yeah.
that provided to
They
the
built-
board?
They built the,
I saw they had the ramp.
they got the ramp, and there was a bunch of pressure-treated 6x6 there.
They're getting
I don't know, last Thursday or Friday.
The whole, the last three items on that list can be just crossed off.
Yeah, the admin building.
Broadband, comp plan, well, cemeteries.
We did do a review of the cemeteries that seek financial support. We did do that.
So that's done, okay. Then you-
It's done, but there is a recent update. There's still some concern at the Cranberry Horn Hill Cemetery, so I'll
Yeah.
try to
Somebody
find out
took
more
that over
about
though,
that.
right?
Yes, but I think it's,
just changed.
Oh, again?
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of an issue at the moment, so
Oh.
I'll try to follow up on that.
and the admin building is done.
You know, one of the buildings we do have to think about reuse and disposition is the generator building at Mitchell Field. I don't know if you want that as one of your
What was the other building that we just?
Sentry.
Okay.
The one at the beginning.
Yep,
We're
I
gonna
was
get-
trying.
The
So-
company that removed the hazardous materials at the administration building, I'm gonna get a quote for them to remove the hazardous materials from the Sentry building.
Whatever there might be.
Yeah, we have a list of them. They were picked up in a report.
So the generator building,
Does that have hazardous in mind?
That has
Yeah.
the proposed estimate for removing hazardous materials at the generator building was in the magnitude of 200,000. Yeah, so we're gonna have to look for a
Lead-
grant.
Or-
lead paint, I
And
mean,
you have to take them out regardless of.
Yeah, even if you tear it
Yeah,
down, you still
yeah,
gotta deal with it,
yeah.
so.
So
The
the,
only other potential thing you could do, which really isn't feasible, would be to leave it and build something new next to it.
so
You're gonna have
the,
to deal with it eventually, and it's only gonna get more expensive. It's not
right.
coming.
Well, the
getting
Mitchell
cheaper.
Field Committee would like to use that as a workshop and, you know, sort of a, not storage, but central maintenance building.
Yeah.
So it has big garage doors and it has everything
Yeah.
you need except for the $200,000
Right, exactly.
cleaning it up. But you'll never be able to build a new building for 200,000, so.
And, you know, then we do have to fix the roof. I mean,
Yep,
there's other
yep.
costs associated with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I don't know if that's one you wanna consider as a.
I don't think it's a bad idea, because like I just said, it's not gonna get cheaper, and if we can find a grant, you know. But I wouldn't wanna, I'll make this clear, I don't wanna spend tax money on it. I'd rather find a grant. That's just me, you know, only one, so.
I mean, maybe you want to add something about supporting the master plan for Mitchell Field, and that's supposed to encompass ideas for
Okay,
the
yeah.
generator building.
Yeah,
so-
they're working
I wanna
on
see
that.
it first.
yeah.
Yeah. that's
At what
fair.
point do the selectmen get involved in this update to the master plan?
When?
What process?
I'd like to see a copy of it
Yeah,
tomorrow.
So you have authorized volunteers to prepare this whole entire thing, and then you react to it without providing input?
That-
I provided input.
I think we could have an update. We could ask them to come to the select board meeting and provide an update,
Sure.
and
Yeah, but we should stay plugged into it, certainly, yeah.
I think it's a big thing to not be plugged into.
I've gone to a
Yes,
couple of
yes.
their meetings.
It's the
I've
biggest
tried to
thing. Are you
pay
kidding?
attention a little bit, and I've given them some input on some certain areas.
Yeah,
so.
I've heard some things that I don't like, so.
so Don Miskell, he kind of writes periodic updates to the Anchor, and he's just in his periodic update, he's got, that this subcommittee is meeting, they're talking about the master plan, they'll be reporting back to the full
Yeah.
committee, but we could ask them to come to a select board meeting and give you just an update on where they're at, because
Yeah.
they're talking about trying to engage the community more.
And when is that?
When are they going to do that?
When does the community get engaged in
Well,
that
they're,
process?
they haven't established where and when those meetings will be, but.
But again, are they developing something and then it's for the public to react to?
So I attend those meetings,
Oh, there you go.
and they are just, right now, more or less gathering information, so they haven't gotten to the point of actually putting it together. So, but I'm following it myself, and
I-
anyone's welcome to.
Yeah.
There was a very large process for the original master plan. There were tables, there were charts, they were well-attended, there was lots of ideas tossed around.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this is seeming very focused, and I'm not, I am speaking as a staff member and as a member of the community, that I think the community needs to be engaged and that the select board need to be involved in the process and not just reactive at the end. I think it's a disappointment to volunteers that can work on something so long, and then reactive at the end may be that you don't like it.
Could be
And
negative.
so
Yeah.
some input throughout the process, and I know this has gone on for several months, and I continue to ask this question, so thank you for entertaining me, because I really think that it's a process that needs involvement.
Nope.
I agree with what Terry just said, and I agree with what David just said, too, where they're still collecting information. That's what it seems like to me. So maybe we can establish, like, some steps in the process where we can meet with them. Like, once they have gathered what they feel is enough information, maybe come to us and present to us what they've gathered for information, and when they can get some feedback from us.
Yeah.
We think you need more, or you got too much, and then they can go into the planning stage a bit, and then check back in with us, say, maybe halfway through the planning stage, to get an idea, yeah, you're on the right track, or, oh, we don't agree with this, type of thing. Does that
Yeah.
sound like something that would work well for everybody?
Yeah.
Do
Just
you-
an idea.
I was going to
Yeah.
ask Terry, do you recall if during that process, there was a consultant that was kind of,
Yes.
yeah. So I think, I think your point is valid, like, we're relying on this volunteer group, and sometimes it's just hard. They do a lot of good work in that
Yeah.
volunteer group, but
Yeah,
getting outside of that to get more public input and having more community meetings and.
Wasn't Mark Ironman the,
I don't
It was
remember.
planning decisions at the
Oh, it
time,
was,
which,
okay,
which I believe he may have been a member of.
Yes, he
but
was, yeah.
But he may not have been the one that, regardless of who it was a very large process that really entertained a lot of
oh, yes, I remember.
ideas. And
So those meetings, by the way, are held in this room. So if you want to,
that would work for me. I'm speaking for the community,
yeah, yeah.
not just me
Oh.
personally. And
Right,
so
recorded.
when you say it's held in this room.
So if you want
and
to
people-
stream it or capture it for VOD,
But also the people engaging or attending is not going to happen until, that's just the way of the world. People
Right.
are not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
attend until
Right.
there's the direct engagement.
some reason to direct, to
Yeah.
participate.
So, I still can't wrap my hands around what is a subcommittee for Mitchell Field, but where do they come in the whole process?
Well, that's it. The subcommittee, it's a Mitchell Field Comp Plan Subcommittee. So they meet directly, meet right after the regular Mitchell Field meeting. So there's 2 hours of meetings that night, and,
I guess I still don't get their purpose. I've been trying to figure it out, but.
well, it's to, there was a presentation made a few months ago on someone's idea of what should happen down there, planting trees and all of this stuff. And that's one person's concept. So there.
Is it a committee
there's-
of one?
It was. No, No, it's a committee. There's 5 people on the committee. So right now, they're gathering information and they're,
Why
Getting
was
ready
it a
to-
subcommittee, I guess, and not the whole Mitchell Field Committee?
That was my question.
I think they, I don't know, want to speak for them, but I think they felt like the subcommittee could just really focus on the master plan.
that's,
Because
not
there were so
disagreeing
many
with it, I
other
was just
things
curious.
that, the full committee was like taking on so many other things. And I think, again, one of
sounds like a
the,
good one.
one of the pieces that came out of this article that Dawn is writing for the Anchor is that they really want to take time and see how the facility is used this summer. I mean, the boat launch is going to
Yep.
open, and how is that going to integrate with all the waterfront uses?
I've heard that
You
from
know,
the
Harbor and
committee
Waterfront
quite a bit.
isn't sure how large a mooring field we should have. I mean, there's just a lot of things to think about.
Yep.
And maybe we just need time to see how this kind of works.
I do think this is going to end up being a fairly lengthy process, just based on my few interactions with them so far. It seems like they are trying to gather a lot of that information. A lot of that information just isn't going to come, and we have to wait for it. It's time consuming.
You know, and maybe we need a consultant if we want to really broaden this whole process and not rely exclusively on kind of a volunteer effort. So that's just a thought.
Well, I would let them come to that conclusion. I think they may be headed that way. They're, they're serious about it, and they're really putting an effort in, so.
And I don't think there's any question about that.
Right. It's just really process,
Yeah.
engaging the community.
Yeah, yeah, well, I think they're aware of that need, that necessity.
So we will definitely put something in here about supporting the update of the Mitchell Field Master Plan,
Yep,
including the disposition or reuse of the generator building. We'd like to see something about that at some point. We can take off develop plan for use of American Rescue Plan funds. That all got taken care of. Under communications, I think we've done a lot to implement the recommendations of the Technology and Communications Task Force. It takes time to implement some of these things. It takes bringing on new staff members, and we do have our communications specialist who's helping just in so many ways improve how we disseminate information from the town. And so I'm really pleased about the progress we're
Right,
making
that one
in
is,
that area.
that one's done.
I think communications is an ongoing issue,
Right.
and we want
Well,
to wrap in that piece about, adding more committees to the streaming area, right? And being
Sure.
more transparent. So I think we would wrap that in to
But this part
communications.
of the purchase equipment.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we have,
Yes, we have done that. Yep. But maybe, like you said, do we want to get the conference room set up so it has
You
that
started
kind of?
down here. and skipped-
I know, I started with an area that they jumped to.
Okay.
well, just having a
So-
small mobile camera that you can take, that you can do anything with. I mean, anywhere in the building, or outside, I mean, whatever,
Yeah, David doesn't have it, because we do hold sometimes public meetings outside of this venue, and it might be convenient for us to be able to bring our own camera and record that for the public, I just think of some of the,
We've brought that.
yeah, that's true, you're right, never mind. Yeah, but, well, if we ran into a
Or maybe a
scheduling conflict
multiple-
where we were having a public hearing and there was a committee meeting happening in this room, you see,
But we'll get that other,
yeah. Yeah.
and recording does happen, can occur without that camera, just FYI, because you have all these other ones. But our consultant really wanted us to have a full room-long view.
Yeah,
And so,
Right.
but this room was filmed for ever with just the 1,
so when.
2, 3.
Those are the cameras that get used, like when somebody gets up to the podium and the shot switches for them, it's coming
Yes.
from.
That one above the clock was the full room view.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, it's definitely doable, but we like the idea
Yeah.
of purchasing another one to
I
have
just-
for some side rooms.
Learned a bunch of new stuff.
Again, I really want to thank the staff we have, because I think we've made a lot of progress in this area, and it doesn't happen overnight, it
No.
takes time, but I think we're doing some really good things in this area. really pleased about that. We have a monthly electronic newsletter that we send out now.
Yep.
We still send out the town report. Maybe that's something you can talk about, whether or not you think the town should, print thousands of
Oh.
annual town
Yeah.
reports
Well,
and mail them. I mean, it's been a tradition in Harpswell for a long time.
Maybe a
There's a
few hundred
huge
less.
expectation, in terms of, maybe we should somehow poll the public about
That would
what
be
they think.
helpful.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
It
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I think it's pretty popular,
Yeah.
I do too.
We intended to,
not for the right
when we,
reasons, but.
No, I like it.
when we spoke with the moderator this year, that was, in retrospect, we had wished we had asked the people in the room about the actual hard copy, or, we have a lot of views online.
Yeah.
And it was difficult for the select board at the time when they made the decision to stop mailing. It was prior to anybody on this board, when we stopped mailing to non-residents. And they come in the summertime and pick up their copies, or that has dramatically decreased because they just view and read what they are interested in online.
Yeah. Yeah. But- Well, this summer, when we have a non-resident taxpayers meeting, we'll poll those folks.
Well, they already don't get
Oh,
it.
that's right, they don't, yeah.
We're not gonna pull that, because we're gonna send it.
So we have to
Saving money there. We're gonna keep
remember the
saving
lovely
money.
photograph on the cover and choosing it and,
So I guess if we want to flip to the front, because I started down at the bottom of the first page.
That's
But
how I read.
there was a section that we started with called Community Diversity and Wellness, and it talked about sustain and where needed, improve Harpswell's capacity to inclusively welcome and support residents of all backgrounds, ages, and economic conditions. And then there were specific items like explore the need for housing and ways to make it accessible. I'm assuming that is still on your priority list, or do you see that kind of shifting to the Harpswell Housing Trust? How do you see that
I think it's a
working?
combination of some of it's been
Combination, yeah.
shifted to the housing trust, and some of it the state has taken over.
I was going
on
to say,
our
the
behalf.
state changes are making
So,
it easy.
I mean, they seem to be dictating what we're gonna do anyway.
And some of it I like,
Some of it I don't.
yeah,
That's like every good thing, though.
yeah, well, we don't have any growth zones, so.
Right. And we don't have
But we are
any
going to
so
be implementing the new state law when it comes to housing. And
Right.
so is that something you would like to see as a goal, that be implemented? Because it has to be by 2027.
Yeah, I guess we could put it as a goal, because it
Okay.
has to be done, so.
And we did see
And we can
grant
beat that one,
funding.
because it has to be done, so that's a good goal.
And we got grant funding, so we took
Yeah.
the burden
Oh.
off the taxpayers.
You gotta love free money,
It's not free. It's state
Okay.
tax money.
you gotta look it up.
Continuing our partnership with HA and others to support aging in place for Harpswell elders. Again, this is like a continuation. I think we've only strengthened the partnership. Are
I do
you,
too.
you know,
especially with the
recreation and
fisheries
community
committee
services and the
partnering with
fishing
HA
piece,
now.
and so some really good things going on there. And then continue to assess unmet needs of families with a focus on wellness of youth and identify strategies to address them. I think we pick up some of that wellness of youth with our sports and other programs, not just sports, but other
Yeah, I think we have
activities.
a wonderful recreation
Yeah,
program
yeah.
here in town with a lot of different activities and stuff for young people and stuff, especially in a town that has a limited amount of young people.
Then we shift to the environment. It had developed plans and strategies that protect and preserve Harpswell's lands and waters for future generations, increase community resilience in the face of climate change, and reduce Harpswell's carbon footprint. Talks about reviewing and updating land use ordinances to prevent environmental degradation, including consideration of more pesticide, insecticide regulation. I don't really know if we've done much in that area, to be honest with you.
Have we
about-
done anything with the pesticide stuff?
Yeah.
Because
Well, we have some language, but I think they wanted to beef it up, and I'm not sure if they wanted it to apply. Like, right now, I think it's within 25 feet, you can't use it. Oh,
I'd like to
Or-
extend it, so I'd be okay with that.
Maybe
That stuff
look
they
at
use to
that.
spray for ticks also kills lobsters.
Kills everything.
Yeah.
You know, someone was spraying, I won't say where, but there was a professional company was spraying for mosquitoes. And, I mean, they were just spraying everything all over the place. And I said, what are you spraying? He said, don't worry, it goes away after a while. Well, after it kills everything, the spiders, I mean, the spiders are, a lot of those
That's what killed them.
Those
New York.
spiders eat
sprayed for the
mosquitoes and flies.
Was it?
So
Seeps into
you
the
just,
soil, seeps into the ground.
you're ruining the ecosystem completely.
That's when the
by doing
New York
that.
Sound had the major lobster depletion back in the early 2000s. It was, eventually the University of Connecticut was able to attribute it to, it was right after they had that triple E outbreak.
Yeah.
And they sprayed to kill the mosquitoes in that triple E along the Connecticut River. And that pesticide drained out in the New York Sound. And the fishermen went out a couple weeks after it and hauled their traps, and everything in 10 fathom or less was dead in the traps. And a couple weeks after that, it made it out to 30 fathom.
Well, they're
Killed
bugs.
everything.
They're bugs. They
Yeah.
crawl on the bottom, but they're bugs.
They are.
I remember the mosquito trucks when we were kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They'd come around, there'd be guys on the back.
Really?
Of massive fans.
Yeah.
Your parents, get in the house! You know, plus we lived along Cedar Beach
Yeah,
Road.
yeah.
They sprayed that, it was a massive truck.
They still do it in Florida.
Really? Yeah.
Really?
Right.
That sounds terrible.
Oh, yeah, it was awful.
Wow.
So,
You know it's bad when your parents are telling you to get inside.
Yeah.
so what, how much we can do on private property, when someone wants to spray mosquitoes on their property? I mean, how much we can get involved in that? I don't know.
I thought we had an understanding with the pesticide companies, what they can do
I think
in the
we
shoreline.
do. It's a constant kind of education situation where.
Because there's new ones popping
Right,
up all the time.
No,
right.
but I know tick rangers on my road all the damn time.
Yeah, they're killing ticks, but they're killing everything else
Yeah.
too. Really
I need-
unbalancing the environment.
I need to
completely.
do some follow-up because I think there was some discussion about making
Get
that,
some chickens with the ticks.
Yeah.
or lengthening the
I
distance
got a
from the
lot of
shore
pictures.
that it was going to apply, so. Anyway,
Possums eat ticks.
Yes,
They eat a
they're
lot of them.
immune to Lyme disease.
support the mission of Resiliency and Sustainability Committee, focusing on public education as one of the strategies, and I do think they try to do a really
They
good
do
job
great.
getting out
Yeah. I
public
think so, too.
information, and I think our communications area helps get the word out. Implementing energy efficiencies, we are working on a grant, I believe, that would take into consideration some storm windows here at the town office, putting some new doors in, some other efficiency issues and reducing our carbon footprint. And then I do think we have adopted the new FEMA floodplain
that
map,
one's
so
done.
that one can come off. Then we get to economic vitality, support Harpswell's economic vitality, especially in the fishing, tourism, and housing sectors. Continue working to better understand forces affecting the health of Harpswell's marine resources and find solutions that work at the local level. Support Harpswell's fishing community to adapt to and build resiliency against negative climate change impacts. And assess the effects, I don't know how you want to deal with this, the effects of the vacation rental sector on our economy, services, and neighborhoods, and develop policy.
Don't even ask that
Which may
question.
lead initially to a registry.
Stay away from that.
So maybe you don't even want that,
Well,
okay?
I-
that's-
And
You know-
the other thing I would add, and maybe it's not, this is, the only reason I'm saying it here is because this is the first part that mentions the fishing community. I'd like to see that right to fish policy we have become an ordinance.
And add right to farm to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
okay.
somebody asked me about the right to farm, and
Wasn't Jimmy Cornish, was it?
I was gonna say the food sovereignty bill with Jimmy Cornish.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
He's been working on that. He brought it to the fisheries committee.
Yeah, we need to get both of those.
So have the right to fish and farm become policy?
Yeah.
No, become
Policy
ordinance.
become ordinance.
Oh,
Become an
policy
ordinance.
become
Yeah.
ordinance?
Yep.
Okay, from policy to
Something,
ordinance.
something a little more enforceable than what we,
Because policies, correct me if I'm wrong, policies can be changed by the board at any time, basically, and
Yep.
ordinances would require a vote of the public. Yeah.
they're executive decisions, right?
Yeah.
So the next board could completely erase it and make
Right.
something
Yeah.
else.
Right. That's why I'd like to see it in an ordinance, and then the whole town would.
Are there some things we haven't covered that you'd like to see? I'll update. I don't know if you want me to work with the existing document that the board last had and kind of maybe put in some of the newer ideas from our
I think we kind of gotta,
updated.
if we mishmash the two together, I think we'd have a decent document.
Are there specific ideas, programs, policies
I just
that we
threw the
haven't?
one I had out, so.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Any other ones that,
Nope.
okay.
You know what? Well, no, never mind, because I'll be here. I'd really like to see that program that the Fisheries Committee started with them helping haul with the Meals in the Pinch. I'd like to see that continue, but I can, as long as I'm here, I can continue, you know. That would be more of a goal.
But we can put
Maybe in my
continue
third
that.
year,
Yeah, continue it.
I chose not to run again,
What's that?
to keep that fisheries program where we're donating seafood to the Meals in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Pinch.
Does it
Feeding
have a
lobster to poor
name?
people.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, not yet. We tried to come up with one. I was
Okay,
actually
okay.
talking to Margaret earlier.
Okay.
She was trying to help me come up with a good acronym, and
Okay.
we weren't able to yet.
Yeah.
We know what you
There's
mean.
just
though.
a shameless self-plug. There's a story
Oh.
on Channel 13
Oh.
tonight about it at 5:30.
Nice.
If you want to
Excellent.
check it out. They
5:30.
came down and they interviewed some people at Hall and myself and so.
Wonderful.
So we're hoping to get it to spread to other fishing communities and farming communities throughout the state. Was the idea behind it.
13?
I just saw something where federal policy is now looking at fishermen as farmers of the sea.
Yeah.
And maybe making them more
Don't say
eligible.
that so
for-
loudly.
What?
Don't say that so
Oh,
loudly.
okay.
Farmers of the sea.
That's not, you don't like that.
No.
Oh.
We are.
Will it help the industry, though?
Yes, it
Oh,
will.
I
That's
thought
a
it would.
wonderful thing.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
beginning of hopefully
Yeah.
the start of moving fisheries under the
Yeah.
jurisdiction of the USDA instead of NOAA.
Okay.
But that's
That would
what,
be wonderful.
that's what lobstering is, those farming, you catch
I'm not going to
them,
admit to that in
You-
a public setting.
you feed them, and you put them back.
I have to go work with these folks here after I leave
Yeah,
here,
that's
David.
true.
They don't watch it.
That's fair.
Haul them out, feed them,
No
stick them
problem.
back in until they get big enough.
So I think we have enough input to draft something new for you to consider at a future meeting.
Have AI
Not as soon
consolidate.
as this Thursday. It'll take a little bit longer to put this together.
Have AI consolidate it.
Well, that's what, I don't think it sometimes works as well that way, but I don't know. We'll use a little bit of AI and more
Yeah.
local writing, I guess. But speaking of AI, MMA, Maine Municipal Association, is having a technology conference, and one of their topics that they'll be discussing is how municipal governments can use artificial intelligence. So, areas to really think about becoming more effective by using it, and then maybe they have some stories about things you should not do with it, so.
Yeah, they've
I'm-
already been issuing some.
I'm gonna try to
Any-
go to that, because
I think I'm gonna try to go if my schedule's free that day. Sounded interesting. I use AI all the time.
Do you?
Yep.
Like-
I use it when we get those long documents, like a 70-page report, and I'm like, geez, I don't really want to read this. AI will summarize it.
I think it's a scourge.
Yep.
So anything else?
I don't think so.
No, so we'll see you at 5 o'clock on Thursday. You have an executive session on cable franchise negotiations, the
If there is any
status
franchising
update.
left
Yeah,
after this.
yeah. Okay, very good. Thank you all.